Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I was out here just a couple days ago with the Fimi X8 SE 2020 version, and it flew okay, but I honestly was disappointed in the video quality. The color seemed off, the white balance was really weird, it was way too warm and didn't really show the true colors. I discovered a couple things. When you fire up the drone, you have to go in and set the video quality to high. That is the bit rate. It always defaults to medium, so every time you've got to go in and set that. So I think I had the bit rate on medium. The other thing that happened was, and I wrote it down here so I get the numbers right, I had tried to update the firmware before I left the house, and there was no updates. And even when I searched for them, I tried to force an update and couldn't do it. Well, subsequently a bunch of updates came through, so this thing, when I updated it, kind of leapfrogged several generations of firmware. So for the flight controls, when I was out here last time, I had 1014G, and now it leapfrogged to 1022B, so several generations later. So we'll see how that goes. And then the camera, which is the part that I was most concerned about, was 1017B from the factory, and now it's leapfrogged all the way up to 2024C. So several generations of firmware later, and I think we should take this guy up and see what kind of video we can take. Hopefully get more true to life. There was some pulsing and flashes in the video, so hopefully that stuff will be gone. And that's common for these birds. As they upgrade the firmware, they fine-tune things when they come out. So I suspect that some of the problems I had with it before will just be a thing of the past. But anyway, let's put it up in the air, and we're going to fly out over the canyon, see what we can see, and I'm hoping that we'll have time to maybe try some of the intelligent flight modes, a helix or an orbit or something like that. So give me just a second, let's get this thing in the air. Okay, we're fired up and ready to go. We got 12 satellites, looking good. The other thing I wanted to point out before I take off here is that it is about 10 a.m. in the morning. This is on Sunday morning, and it's already 80 degrees, and the sun is just brutal. We're well on our way to over 100-degree temperature today, so that's why I wanted to get out here early. And winds sustained 8 miles an hour to gusts up to 16, and there's a little breeze right now. I don't think it's 8 miles an hour, but there's definitely some wind, and I'm sure we'll catch some out over the canyon. So I'm going to take a look at recording here. We are going to go into settings. We might as well format the SD card, make sure that that's good, and it did, so that's good. Whoops, didn't mean to get out of that. Let's go back in here, and we want to set the video quality, like I said, to high. So video quality is on high, 4K 30 frames per second. White balance is on sunny day, color is on general, and I'm encoding in H.264. Okay, so 99% battery, 14 satellites now. Let's go ahead and start recording. Recording has begun. I guess nothing else to do but take off, so let me get out of the way here so you can see it. I'm going to hit takeoff right here on the controller. And I'm tilting the Canon camera up so you can see it. It kind of moved back towards us a little bit, and it goes up about 13 or 14 feet high. Let me get the camera back down. And let's move the drone out a little bit, spin it around. The wind is definitely blowing it around some here. Let's see how close we can bring it in here safely. Okay, let's try to do that. old yaw back and forth. I always kind of like to do that. That shows that gimbal in action. Let's back it off just a little. Bring it back in front of the camera. And yeah, I'm going to drop the gimbal down some here. Get that rule of thirds. Try and keep my iPhone in the shade so I don't lose anything. McDonald's is telling me they want me to have French fries. Okay, so let's do our usual droney. So manual reverse and up right now. Reverse and up. Well, I messed that up. We're going to start that over again. I definitely, for some reason, I went a little bit to the side there. So let's try that one more time. Okay, reverse and up. Whoop. I keep doing that. Straight down. Yeah, this is better. Get some more altitude. Drop that camera just a little. Now, you know, we're looking at the horizon there, and I don't think it's crooked. I think that's just the lay of the land there. So let's go upriver here a little bit. Boy, that's beautiful. And you know, this is tentative, but it already looks to me like an improvement over what I saw the other day. The colors look more natural. Yeah, we should see some people, and I'm watching the drone go right by us here over the river. You know, it's kind of hard to tell on the iPhone because it's so small, but we should see some people down there fishing on the river. And I'm going to keep the antennas pointed towards the drone. I'm going to grab some more altitude because we are I want to make sure I've got good signal. Nice slow yaw there. And that again is Swan Falls Dam. We looked at that the other day. Yeah, I would prefer to keep the camera, or the excuse me, my iPhone in the shade. Yeah, so max distance. So evidently it reset to 1,000 meters, but that's good anyway. So let's go back into settings and let's see if we can fix that. We've got 17 satellites, so that's good. That stuff must reset because I had set it, and the mistake I made last time was not checking the checkbox. But anyway, let's go into settings, and yeah, so all my other settings seem okay. Yeah, so I've got it on no limit now, so we should be able to go as far as we want, which is fine. Okay, let's go full stick forward, and we're going downriver now. So basically, this is kind of I would say northwest. We're tootling along at about, I don't know, 9 meters per second or so. I'm going to get the stand so that I'm shading my phone because I don't want it to heat up too much. I can hear the drone coming down the river. And we are right about on the side here. You can see where I'm standing right there. Yep, that's the viewpoint, and I do see we're flying sideways and definitely have a crooked horizon, no question about that. Let me go back the other direction. And then the horizon straightened out. Let me lower the gimbal just a little, get that even. Yeah, horizon looks better there. So definitely when I was flying sideways there, it definitely had the horizon was tilted a little bit. And we're at 69% battery, so we're doing great. Let's throw this baby into sport mode. I'm going to go back. I stopped. Now I'm going back into the menu, selecting sport mode. Sport mode is selected, and we're going to go full stick forward, and we should drastically increase speed here. Yeah, so we're up to about 11 meters per second or so. I think they've slowed this drone down from what the 2018 version was. I think there's I'm kind of gathering that there's kind of no question about it, in fact, in my mind. And I suspect it had to do with people having issues breaking arms on it because of cruising along in sport mode. Boy, the river's looking beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, so we must be kind of going into the wind, about 10 meters per second. Okay. We're about 1.3 kilometers out. So what you see off in the distance right there, I'm going to center on it. That is the end of the trail. In other words, I could go down into the canyon, and that's as far as I could drive with my car at the very end there. And we're starting to, I'm looking at the signal strength meter, we're starting to lose a little FPV signal strength. Not control strength, but FPV. But it still looks good on my screen. feels pretty good, and you can tell that it's favoring the drone because it's picked up a lot of speed. I don't think I've ever flown had this view before across this side of the canyon, so this is pretty cool. Okay, we are at 45% battery, and I had kind of hoped that we would get back with enough battery to try some, maybe one of the intelligent flight modes, a helix or something like that. So we'll keep coming this way and we'll bring it back to us. Yeah, I've never flown this close to that side of the canyon there, so this is interesting. And of course, I'm just looking at it on my little iPhone screen. I can't wait to get it home, get the SD card out, and take a look at it. Really beautiful country. So I'm going to begin yawing around here. And come back towards us. So that's just about lined up on us there, and we're moving up along about 14 meters per second. Boy, I can hear that drone, and it's you know how some drones are, they sound kind of annoying, and other ones are kind of pleasing, the sound they make, and this one definitely sounds good. I'm just going to drop the gimbal down as we come over. There we are right there. Standing right next to that park bench. Right over the top of us. Let's pick that gimbal back up. And there is the highway. There's my Durango. Okay, I'm going to do a return to home. Well, maybe not. Let's just fly it back. Sorry about that quick yaw. I see a car pulling in there, so I kind of want to get this flight done before... Whoop. Wow. Sorry about that yaw there. Yeah, we're already down on battery, so we're not going to get anything else done. Let's go ahead and hit return to home. Sorry, I hit land, and what I want is return to home. So it started to land out there. So it'll return to home here. It's ascending to its return to home height. So we have only been recording for about 15 minutes, so that's not quite the flight time, but of course, mind you, this is only the second charge on this battery, number one. Number two, for most of the flight, I was at really high throttle applications, so. Yeah, I forgot I'm in sport mode, so that kind of explains why I was having some issues with the yaw there. Okay, so gimbal pointed straight down. I bet you we get it. I'm looking at the Canon camera here to make sure we've got that. Yeah, so instead of flipping it into return to home there on the controller, I just hit the land button The return to home is this little switch, the orange switch here. So it's off a ways. If it doesn't find it, yeah, it says detected, so we'll see. Yeah, it's coming in on it. Yeah, I think we might get it. So I'm just gonna let her land here. Yeah. And yeah, it's gonna hit it. So, God, I always forget that this thing doesn't pick up the gimbal when it lands. I'm used to most drones where they pick up the gimbal. So you can see there, it's just a hair off of the pad, but that's pretty close. So I'm going to call that good. And what it seems to me like is it seems like I've noticed that with the 2018 version too. It wouldn't be vortex ring state, because vortex ring state is when it just drops. It can't get any lift because of its own prop wash. But this is a cushion of prop wash. As it comes down and is just off the ground, it moves off a little bit. And I saw the same thing on the 2018. So yeah, I don't know what that is, but close enough for me. But anyway, we're down to 23% battery, and we got about 16 minutes flight time. So I suppose if you push that battery, you probably could have got up to 20 minutes. And like I said, only 2 cycles on this battery. So man, that was a good flight. And while I won't know until I look at the SD card, the colors look good. Let me shut everything down. We'll do a quick conclusion. So I also want to point out the drone is still on right now, and I can touch the bottom of it. It's warm, but it is in no way hot. So I've heard people talk about cooling issues. I don't see them, and we're over 80 degrees right now. So let's shut her down. So the drone is off. Hey guys, I wanted to point out one more thing here real quick. I was just getting ready to fold up the drone. I've decided that I prefer this little foam square to the Sunny Life cover, and I'll tell you why. Because it holds the camera securely, as opposed to if you just put that cover on there, the gimbal can still wiggle around and move around. This keeps it secure and in place, and it protects the lens and everything else. So for me, I'm going to stick with the old foam square here. Alrighty, the Fimi X8 SE 2020 version. So far, very pleased with today's results. A little bit of wind, of course this guy had no problem with it, and from what I could see on the FPV, the colors looked much more natural. So we'll see when we get that SD card out and I get it home, but I have a feeling it's going to look pretty good. The only negative thing I can say is when I was out there in the canyon and I was flying sideways, shooting back at the canyon wall, we for sure had a crooked horizon then. The rest of the time the horizon looked okay. So you know, that's something. It's worth mentioning, and I hope that that's something that Fimi can correct in future firmware. You know, obviously the horizon issues with the X8 SE have been around since the 2018 version. My 2018 Fimi still often has a little crooked horizon, and typically you can yaw it back and forth or roll it back and forth and it will straighten it out, but sometimes you have to do that, and I'm not sure why. But that's, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that's a big deal. The drone flew great. You know, we maybe didn't get as much flight time as I might have expected, although, like I said, there's wind out there, so we were fighting the wind part of the time, and most of the time I was in full throttle, so we were using up max battery. Very pleased with the temperature. Like I said, it's probably, I'm sure by now it's probably well over 80 degrees here, and it's shoot, it feels just, in fact it's cold to the touch right now. So whatever kind of heat sinks they put in here, I think they've done a good job with that. And I know I've heard some people talk about it, that they don't hear a fan or whatever. Hey, I don't know. All I know is the drone is cool and it operates as it should. The other thing worth mentioning is we went out about 2 kilometers, and even though I saw a little bit of on the app, you could see that the FPV signal was kind of in the orange range or whatever. We lost a little bit of FPV signal. It still looked good on the screen. I didn't see any breakup. It looked good, and as far as control, had perfect control of it even out 2 kilometers. Now, I'll be honest with you, going much further than that, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, my point of it is that's probably as far as I'm going to be ever flying a drone. You know, so I say right now. But in any case, gosh, that's about all the high points there. I hope that this helps you, and I know a lot of people have got this drone now, and I hope so, you know, if you like this, that, you know, if you're interested in a drone in this price range, this mid-range price range, I think this appears to be a really good choice. So I'll put a link in the description for I am a Banggood affiliate. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of Banggood, but I am an affiliate. So I'll put a link with a discount code, and I think it's still on sale. I think you can still get this guy. Might even be $399, just under 400 bucks. I paid, when I bought it, I got it on that initial deal where it was $347, but then again, I waited 4 months for it. And I'm just going by what I've heard people say. I'm hearing people, when they order it from the China warehouse, they're getting it within 2 to 3 weeks. So you never know. I'm just saying that's what I've heard people talk about in some of the Facebook pages, etc. So anyway, enough jibber jabber. That's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video, and we absolutely will see you on the next one. Bye now. Fimi X8 SE 2020. I'm pronouncing it a good bird. Hey guys, so I just flew the Fimi X8 SE 2020 version out over the Snake River Canyon, and I often film at this lookout. It's called the Dedication Point Lookout, and I kind of wanted to show you what it is. I probably haven't shown it enough so you can just kind of see what we're talking about here. And yeah, I mean, you're standing right on the edge here, and you know, obviously they've got displays like this that can tell you how to identify the raptors that you see here. I'm looking down, I'm seeing some campers down there, lots of people fishing, tons of people fishing on the river, and what a beautiful day to do it. Just a pretty neat facility here, and it's managed by the Bureau of Land Management, and I know Idaho Power does quite a bit here too. So just kind of wanted to show you this. I'm going to stick the camera out over the edge to show you how close to the edge you are when you're standing here. So let's walk up here just a little ways. I'll tack this on as bonus footage at the end of my video, so if anybody wants to see it. And yeah, talking about the falcons here, pretty interesting stuff. They eat a lot of ground squirrels. But yeah, you got this whole system here. There's some more folks parked down there, and yeah, I'm gonna stick the camera out over the edge. You can see it's a ways down there. You would not want to fall. And talking about the Snake River Canyon here, so yeah, talking about the basalt here, and it was you know, how it was formed by molten lava. Lots of good information here. So this is where they tell about when Lake Bonneville too. If you look at the second paragraph here, they're talking about when Lake Bonneville burst and scoured the canyon walls, dropping large rounded boulders into the river canyon on the surrounding plateau. It's just amazing. So geology is fascinating stuff. So there you go, and quite a few more people down there. You know, it's the weekend, so a lot of people taking advantage and doing some camping and kind of getting out of the house and doing some social distancing. So this is one of my favorite spots to take off with the drone because I've got that little park bench right there to set all my gear on, kind of handy. And then they got this little monument here talking about the dedication of the of how this all came to be. Boise District of the Bureau of Land Management, May 1988. It looks like they the Snake River Birds of Prey Natural Area they set aside in 1971. All right, thanks. There's your bonus footage.